This is titled Help, I Want to Be Self-Employed. So you're basically are self-employed, but you have this, you said your cosmetology license?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what are your thoughts on that? Are you...
I'm not sure. There's a couple classes I'm getting ready to take this Saturday and next Saturday.
For?
Just branching out. Just in the beauty industry, but not so much hair.
Gotcha.
So I'm just kind of debating, tossing around, doing my own thing.
And Aiden, how about you? What are you hoping to take away?
Hopefully just learning how to open up a business and what's more to use my, get the best way to use my money fully.
Gotcha.
And not kind of just waste it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Do you want to stay self-employed? Maybe not so much in the family business with the windows and siding, but...
So eventually I'm getting my real estate license and then getting my broker's license and then want to open a business, opening a real estate agency.
Super. Okay. Well, we're just going to kind of go through it, and if we want to stop and discuss anything, we can most certainly do that. So just so you know who I am, my name is Jerry Paul. I am a certified financial counselor with Achieva. We are certified through CUNA. I'm also a universal branch advisor, which if you come to the branch, I can help you with everything from opening all the different accounts, specialty accounts, to replacing your ATM card, your debit card. So I've been doing this for a little while. So the information I'm going to give you is general. It's basically a broad spectrum, just to give you some ideas of what you might want to think about, what direction you might want to take your business in once you get ready to take that leap. So like I said, general info, and then hopefully some resources that you can tap into to fine-tune what you want to do. Okay. We are Achieva Credit Union. We were formerly known as Pinellas County Teachers Credit Union. We have been around since 1937. We became chartered in 1951. We changed our name because people thought they had to be a Pinellas County teacher to join, and we became an open charter. So what that means is our footprint within the state of Florida is limited to certain counties. So you have to work or live in those counties in order to benefit from membership. And Aiden, I don't know how much you're familiar, or even if you know the difference between commercial banks and credit unions. Credit unions are a member-owned cooperative. So everybody pledges a share. We're members of the same club. Our monies are kind of recycled throughout. So I'm using your money, those deposits, making loans, it comes back in. We do not have stockholders, so nobody's making money off of what we do. Even our board of directors, they volunteer. They're fully vetted, and they're experts in their field, and so they come and they volunteer. So it's a pretty wonderful setup. So we are a not-for-profit entity, not a nonprofit, but not-for-profit. Because obviously we do make a profit. We have to keep our overhead and keep things going. Okay.
We're both at Achieva.
Oh, good. There you go. And we're also NCUA insured as opposed to FDIC insured. FDIC is for commercial banks. I always equate it to your NCUA, Mom. Son, you're FDIC. So the insurance, it's kind of like you're at a higher risk institution, as we know what happened to the banking industry and things like that. So credit unions historically, even through the Great Depression, made money. So because we just recycle it back in. So that kind of gives you an idea. And that's also going to play into you deciding where you're going to keep your business accounts. Okay? So that's Achieva. And as I said, this is general information for you to take with you. Just want to get you thinking about what you can do for yourself, okay, as a business, and then eventually grow it and have people working for you, potentially, doing that sort of thing. So, essential skills, I skipped to that, for self-employment. Innovative and creative. Are you filling a niche, or are you adding to something that's already existing? Good at public relations. You're going to have to market. Sometimes your marketing might be word of mouth initially before you can actually start putting money into advertising. Are you a self-starter? Are you going to be able to market yourself? You're going to have somebody in. Self-reflective. What do you really want to do? You have to be committed, good at record keeping and organized. And the record keeping, it's going to be also your budgeting. So if you budget well on your personal finances, that will carry over to your business finances. Right? And one thing I do see with a lot of businesses is we have a business savings account and a business checking account, and there's different types of checking to choose from depending on if you're going to meet certain criteria. There's free checking where it's a numbered amount of items you can have per month without a cost. There's no interest on it. Then there's another one, potentially interest, but it has a minimum balance. But what I do see a lot is there's a business savings account attached with it, because with credit unions, you have to pledge that share. People don't use the savings accounts. And so when you're doing your budgeting, just like your personal budgeting, utilize the savings account to show capital. And that's equipment replacement. It's to cover travel expenses if you're going to do that. With you, are you going to set up a brick and mortar shop, or or are you going to go around using other facilities? Are you going to pay rent, booth rent, things like that in the cosmetology field? But you got to have that backup money just in case. And if we come across something where things are shut down, depending what business you're in, if you're not considered essential, are you going to have that money to float you through until things get back to normal?
Yeah.
And do you want to work 12 months a year, or do you want to be a seasonal business? If you're a seasonal business, what's going to carry you through the off season? So that budgeting, that good record keeping and organization is really going to play heavy on you. So when you establish your business, then we're going to go into market research. So market research, is there an opportunity to turn your idea into a successful business? It's a way to gather information. You got to see what's around you. Are you joining a wave of businesses that are doing well? Or are you going to fill some little niche that someone is missing and you see the opportunity? But you have to do the market research. Make sure, is there someone else that's already doing it? And how are they doing it? Are they doing it well? So you got to look at all of that. And that's could go down a rabbit hole. So again, goes back to organization. What is it I want to do? What do I want to be when I grow up? What do I want to carry this? I'm working now, but now I want to have something, a side hustle that is going to sustain me after I decide to retire. I'm going to go out on a fixed income. You're starting, you're looking already ahead. I'm right there on the edge because I'm ready to go. So do I want to do a little side hustle, or am I going to need this for my living expenses? So you got to do that research. There's a lot of services out there, and we're going to cover some of those services. When you go to decide your business, you're going to fill out a business plan. Now, a business plan, it's like me telling someone, do a budget. Okay. Well, a business plan, in your handout, it shows you how to write a business plan. The business plan includes the executive summary, which is your overview, your mission statement. What is it I'm trying to accomplish? Your products and services. Are they both? Are they one or the other? The market, your target. What demographic are you trying to hit? And who are you going to solicit? The competition. How will it compete in the industry? Again, are you doing a business that others have already? Are you riding into that big wave and trying to profit? Or are you going to fill something that hasn't been tapped into? What are your operations going to look like? Those are your day-to-day activities, your processes, your location, your equipment inventory. Are you going to be a brick and mortar, or are you going to travel? Are you going to be a restaurant or a food truck? Are you going to be hands-on face-to-face? Are you going to be internet-based, online-based? So these are things you're going to refer to. And then the management team. Are you it? Or are you going to eventually bring people on as it grows? And what are those roles going to be? Right now, if I were to start a business on my own, I'm going to have to figure out what hats I need to wear. Well, I'm the worker, I'm the manager, I'm the payroll, I'm HR, I'm the supply clerk. I'm going to have to do shipping and receiving. I'm going to have to do the warehouse work. I'm going to have to keep things organized, know what I have. Those are a lot of different hats when you break it down. But as your business grows, then you got to decide, am I going to bring someone in to help me manage that weight, to keep it level? Because if I have to go out and market, but I have to fill this order, or I have to get this equipment inventoried, these supplies inventoried. So you're going to think ahead. So once you have those roles established, the management team, even if it's you and only you, but have your duties written out. This is what each role takes. You have to think of it as a role, not a person, because the person might just be you initially. But then when you start to split it off, you have those roles defined so that when you do bring someone in, it'll be a smoother transition if they know exactly what they're expected to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. That way nothing gets muddied. You're not figuring it out on the fly. So that's where your personnel comes in. So once you have that management team, then you figure out your personnel. They can step in, okay, I need you to take over the books. This is how it's done. And this is what I want you to do. It's clearly defined. And then supporting documents. Write it up. Write out your mission statement. Write out what you want to do. Now, it's just written on paper, so you can alter it as you see, but have a general guide. It's the old bullet outlines that we used to do. Have your bullet outline, what you want to do, then do your research, and from your research, you can fine-tune and make adjustments as needed, because it's like anything else. If the market changes, you have to adjust your budget so that you can keep it afloat and stay liquid. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then there's stuff out there to do it. If you notice on there, score.org, www.score.org. Score.org is a mentoring group, and they see people all over the United States. You can set yourself up with a mentor who is in the similar business that you are. They have webinars, yes. I brought with me, this is from SCORE. I printed this out. Go to score.org, you can print it out. Business plan template for a startup. It's right there. And then what I even printed up extras, company description worksheet. So you see it's right there, your business plan. Business name, and that could change. Company mission statement, company philosophy, values, company vision, goals and milestones, target market, your demographic, industry competitors, who is my competitor? Am I riding a wave or I'm filling a niche? And then your legal structure, your ownership. Score.org. It's free. Okay? And they have webinars and things that you can join in on.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
that's the back.
No.
And as far as preparing budgeting and things like that, there's QuickBooks out there. You're getting your basic financial statements, smart marketing for business owners. All these things are out there. Okay? Now the fun part, the funding of your business. So, are you going to budget and put your own money away, and that'll be your seed money? Aiden, do you know the term seed money?
I'm assuming like your starting money.
Yeah, it's like when farmers, they go and they buy seed and they put that in the ground and they're hoping it's going to grow, and then they're going to reap the benefit from what they grew.
Yeah.
But they had to start with that seed money to get it started.
Yeah.
That's your capital. So when you're funding your business, are you looking at personal savings, personal assets, personal loans? Are you borrowing? You could borrow against the equity in your house.
We did an SBA loan
Did you?
during COVID.
Okay.
To get us through.
Perfect.
And it was a great experience. I mean, the interest rate was low, the terms were really flexible. It was,
There
I
you
don't know
go.
if they're always like that, or if it was just to help keep people afloat. I don't know
Right.
if it changed a little
Yeah,
bit.
you can look, there's so many things out there. There's different ways to get the funding going. You could even ask for some investors. Investor could be mom and dad, Aiden. You
They
know,
invested a lot.
it could, but you got to keep organized and, repay that back. You got to
Yeah.
repay your investors back. So you got to decide how you're going to fund it. I don't know if you've seen, there's businesses out there where they advertise a product that they're making and they're asking people, hey, this is a startup business, do you want to invest? So they're doing that on the internet. So you got to be careful with some of those, because then
Yeah.
we get into fraud talk there. But it's something to think about. It's a way to fund your business initially. But there might be some grants out there too to start a business. Female-owned businesses, a lot of times there's grants out there, so you want to look at that too.
Okay.
And if you're filling a niche, and there might be a grant out there for you. So that's your research, your marketing research, to see if something's out there. All right, so market research, write your business plan, fund your business. Now, pick a location. So, again, what is going to be the structure of your business? Is it going to be a brick and mortar? Are you going to rent a space? Are you going to do internet? If you're going to do internet, are you going to do it out of your home, out of your garage? Now we're talking about your taxes. Because if you're working from home and you're running your business and you're running business expenses, then you got to figure out what section of that is going to be part of your taxes. If you pick a brick and mortar, the example that they give here is, if you're going to be selling skateboards, you're not going to pick a location on a golf course. So does it make sense where you're picking the location? You have to uncover, again, the market demand. Who am I catering to? What is my demographic? Am I going to be near the mall? Or am I going to be near a skate park? Am I going to be near a gym? People want to work out. Maybe they're going to use a skateboard for transportation. A lot of people do that. They use even those mortar boards. So it's, again, part of your marketing is where are you going to be. And brick and mortar, have you heard that term, Aiden?
I have.
Okay, all righty. So from there, where your business is going to be, if it's going to be at home, now your business structure comes into play. If you are going to be a sole proprietor, then you have to look to see, how do I file? Do I need a city license? Do I need to file with the state? Sole proprietors, a lot of times it's Aiden's skateboards, just to use that same. Aiden Skateboards, your name is in the title of the business. Sole proprietor, you can do it under your personal social security number. If you're going to become like an LLC, then you're going to need a tax ID number. And then you got to find out, what is that registration cost. In the state of Florida, you're going to go to sunbiz.gov.com, Department of Corporations in the state of Florida. So you're going to go there and you can look to see what it costs to establish an LLC. It's very quick and very easy, but you want to make sure what the costs are, because then there's annual fees with that to stay registered and stay active. So do I want to be an LLC right now, or do I want to stay as a sole proprietor?
Okay.
So you got to look at those things. So sole proprietor, someone who owns an unincorporated business by themselves. But if you are a domestic LLC, you're not the sole proprietor. If you establish a business, you can have multiple owners on the business account. If you decide to sell the business, you're selling the LLC. Sole proprietor, if you're in business and you decide, I'm done, then it's done, usually. Okay? You can sell equipment, you can sell things like that, but you're not necessarily selling the business. So what's the structure? And you can change that structure as your business grows. Partnerships, relationship between two or more persons who join to carry trade or business, and each person contributes money, property, labor, skills. So then you can look at the partnership feature of it. Right now you own your window and siding. If Aiden decided, yes, this is what I want to be when I grow up, this is what I want to continue to do, then maybe he wants to come on as a partner. That means you would have to buy into the business.
Yeah.
So you're going to bring your own skin into the game. And that might be something to consider later on. It's established, it's well run, you have crews. Right now, Dad is hands-on and he's on the job sites all the time. Maybe you're not going to be that hands-on. Maybe you hire someone and then you could still do whatever you want on the side. There's different things. It's your business. So do with it what you will. If you buy into the business, then Dad can plan mom and Dad can plan their way out. You've got your side hustle with the cosmetology license.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of flexibility here as a family if that's what you choose to do. You just have to figure out, how do I want to set it up?
Okay.
Okay? So that's the structure of the business. And then corporations, S-corps, those are really getting into some big monies there. But like I said, if you go to Department of Corporation, SunBiz, you can see those things. Go to score.org, look there, find a mentor, and see if someone in the same business or looking to change the business. You're a cosmetologist. Maybe you don't want to be on your feet all day long, but maybe you want to, like you said, get into some other area of that field. Find out what other cosmetologists have done, because it is labor intensive. You know, my sister, when she was a cosmetologist, she's a nurse now, but when she started, the shoulder pains, having your arms up here all day long, that takes a physical toll.
Mine are hands.
Yours are hands. Okay, so yeah, go to score.org, find out what they're doing with the knowledge, because you have the knowledge, you have the expertise, you have the experience. Maybe you teach. That might be something. Aiden, you're not allowed to do that because it's your mom.
She would.
What do you mean?
You would not be able to handle kids.
All your friends love me.
Yeah, my friends.
Well, she's not teaching middle schoolers.
I know, I'm teaching adults.
Adults.
Oh.
I wouldn't be able to teach little kids. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
No one's allowed to get their cosmetology license before they're 18.
No, yeah, actually, because my daughter's in the high school program. She's transferring to Nevada.
Oh, see, yeah,
So
those
there's a
schools.
little
Yeah,
niche
there's
in
a
Florida. It's not like that in Illinois.
Oh,
They do that
okay.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
so
forget
she'll
about those
the
schools. Yeah.
schools.
Well,
We didn't
maybe
have those
maybe
options
we
up here.
found your niche. Maybe you could be
maybe.
guest speaker and specialize in things. There you go. Now, if you're going to do your business, you got to give it a name. So you got to verify that this name is not used anywhere else. This is where SunBiz comes in. So if you're picking the name, follow your state's naming guidelines. SunBiz is where we go for the state of Florida. Don't pick something that's similar to a competition. You don't want to get sued for trademark infringement. It's like Coke. If you're selling Coke and you spell it with a capital C, O-K-E, you had better have Coca-Cola products. But if you're not selling Coke and you're selling some off-brand that you got at the grocery store, that Coke better be with a lowercase c. You're selling cola. You're not necessarily selling Coke. And you can do cola. So that's trademark infringement. You can't, if you do a design, a graphic, make sure that it doesn't match any other graphic out there. You know what the Nike swoosh looks like,
Yeah.
right? If you go, one of my favorites are Vans. We know, you can spot a pair of Vans, just someone walking by you.
Yeah.
Adidas, all of those. You know what they are just by the graphic. So when you're designing, picking your name and designing your graphics, those are the things you're going to have to think about and research. So be careful, okay? Make your name web friendly. Make the name match the business. It's similar to prescription drugs on commercials. I have no idea what they are half the time. What does it do? And their spelling, and the spelling of the names
Crazy.
are exactly. It's like, how do you pronounce that? Some of these with a Q in it, it sounds like a cut, and then sometimes it doesn't.
It's like a
So,
tennis.
you know, keep it simple and make it make sense so that when they read the name, they can associate with the type of business that it is. If you have to spell it out in the name, then you have to spell it out. But getting creative to make yourself stand out is good, but don't make it so creative that it doesn't make sense to what you do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to do on that. And then don't limit yourself in the name. So the example here, like someone says Sarasota Garden Center. Well, it's Sarasota Garden Center. Why would it make sense if you're in St. Pete or in, Indian Rocks or
if you
Holiday,
branch out.
Florida, if you branch out? If you've limited your name to Sarasota Garden Center, perfect example, Pinellas County Teachers Credit Union. People thought you had to be a Pinellas County teacher to join, and we were an open charter, and then we expanded into other counties. And it was very expensive to change the name. But now, honoring our educational roots, Achieva, Achieve, but now as we grow, that name can grow with us. So perfect example.
Yeah.
So don't limit yourself on your name, that you're stuck in one place. And then you've got to spend a lot of time, energy, money explaining, oh, we were in Sarasota, but we've moved. We're now in Pasco County. That's rough. So don't pigeonhole yourself, okay? And then it comes time to registering your business. Once you've picked out the brand and everything is good, legal, you got to protect it. So you're going to check with your county tax collector. Again, going back, do you need a city license to do the work in the city that you're going to work? Register your business with the Department of Revenue for sales tax. Register with the IRS. And then again, it's that sunbiz.org. All right, and so much information there to help as well. Get your federal and state tax IDs. Well, we don't have state tax, but we have federal tax. Get your EIN, and when you open an account in your business, please have that letter with you. Don't just expect, oh, I'm just going to give them the number. Now, in Sunbiz, sometimes the tax ID number is listed there with your articles of organization, but not always. So when you go, make sure you have your documents, again, going back to being organized, have everything with you. Apply for any license or permits. Research based on your business what licenses or permits. If you decide to expand on your cosmetology license, that's a license that has to be renewed. And then there's certain classes you have to take with the state to make sure you're current on health.
hours.
Yes, all of those. So make sure you have those schedules and that you're aware when you're going to have to take them so you don't book business during that time, and give yourself time to prepare for those tests to maintain that license. And now, once you've got your plan, you have to choose your financial institution on when you're going to do business. So with Achieva Credit Union, we have different options for you for business checking accounts. Everyone has a business savings, that's your pledge of shares. But then based on the volume of business you do, we have options for you. And you can choose from those options. You're not locked in. If you choose the free checking option, you're just starting out, the essential checking, start off with that. But as your business grows, maybe we step up to the next option that maybe has some interest back for you. So you're not locked in. So you can check those out online as well at achievacu.com and click under business, and it'll show all our business products and services. See what they have available to you. Do they offer mobile banking? Deposit, ATM deposits, in-person deposits, bulk deposits. If you're lawn care guys, they can come in 10, 20, 30 checks a week.
Yeah.
So it's very busy. It's a lot. to keep track of. And how are you going to keep track of it? How does your bank keep track of the deposits? So if you need to go back in your books, did Mr. and Mrs. Jones pay us for the work this week? Well, I don't know. I've already deposited the checks. How are you going to keep that organization? I know you want to get those checks on deposit, but we're going back to organization again. How are you going to track it? How do you track your personal finances now? If your personal finances feel like they're all over the place, maybe work on a method to get those straight that it will carry over to your business practice. Because that is going to be key in being successful, because you certainly don't want to lose money from someone not paying, because if they got away with it once, maybe they try to get away with it again.
Right.
You are the eyes, ears of your business. You got to keep your head on a swivel. And the more organized you are, the simpler it's going to be, and then to go back and backtrack. You want to be able to go back 2 months, 3 months, if you have to explain to your tax person, this is what happened. Because when you go to file your taxes, you need to have all that information with you. And different receipts, different schedules are based on different, whatever your business is. So that's what you got to do too, as well. And then eventually you can kind of get into loans. You know, as your business is doing well, do I want to apply for a line of credit that I can use and pay for things? If I'm going to bid on a job, I have the money then to go buy the materials, pay it back, depending on what you're doing. So in your case, if you decided that you're going to teach, you're going to go to these facilities, you're going to teach. Your expertise is in color. I'm just going to teach color. Do you remember Tabitha, the show she used to have? You know, she gets paid for doing that, going in. So maybe you do that. Maybe your expertise is organizing a salon, keeping it organized. You're going to go in. Who knows? But then you're going to need something to cover your expenses while you travel. So maybe that's a business credit card or some type of line of credit that way. So there's many things to look at. So this gives you a general idea of what to start thinking of, and hopefully help you fine-tune your thoughts and your ideas. FTC.gov is a wonderful source for material as well. This came from FTC, Security Guide for Your Business. This came from score.org. Business plan, template, and startup. Since it's just the two of you, you can have this.
Oh, okay, great.
I'll be glad to, because I know where to go back and find it.
Okay.
But FTC.gov, score.org.
Thank you.
Your financial institution can help you with the different business account types that there are to choose from, because that too might help you decide on what kind of business do I want. Do I want to be a sole proprietor? Do I want to be an LLC? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So is it more than what you expected, Aiden? As far as, or, because being that mom and dad own their business, you're a little ahead of the game.
Yeah, yes and no. Like, some of the stuff I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, I've heard some of these words before. I know what some of them mean. But then some of them, I'm like, what is it? What is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never written a business plan. That it really truly is, being from a small town. You know the people from baseball, and they take a chance. And
Yeah.
you want to do a flip house? Okay, well, we'll loan you this much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a business plan
Yeah.
really is new to me.
I made extra, so you can have that. You know, even if you kind of write out an idea and then you fine tune it. So I gave you extra of the templates.
Okay, great.
There, you have this.
I like those.
Yeah, those are really nice. I like those.
Federal Trade Commission.
Gotcha.
Scams and your small business. FTC.gov has free information out there as well. You can even click when you go in, like when you see these little icons, you can click on it and download a PDF of their form.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to try to create your own.
Yeah.
Don't reinvent the wheel. It's out there. And these, I just wanted to show some of them. Data breach response, a guide for business. Start with security, a guide for business. There's consumer stuff here, but there's also business stuff with the federal trade. Scamming your small business, cybersecurity, protecting your personal information. It's all there, and it can be, now, I'll warn you, you can go down a rabbit hole and this can go pear-shaped on you, all this information. Right? Oh yeah, because there's so much. There's more than you ever really realize. But score.org, Federal Trade Commission, reliable sources. Because you can find other stuff out there too, but you don't necessarily know the source or who's giving you that information.
Okay.
These we know we can trust. So if you kind of look here, get your ideas, fine tune it, and then you'll be ready to move on your ideas and your thoughts and
Okay.
what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.